Former Institute for Economic Research boss Hans-Werner Sinn warned Mr Macron could destabilize the Eurozone in the long term, and in a warning to Germany, the EU's economic powerhouse, Mr Sinn said Berlin will continue to create debt if it takes on the payments for other countries. French President Mr Macron has called for major reform of the Eurozone and has proposed a joint bank rescue fund and a Euro tax budget. But Mr Macron's ambitious reforms could threaten the stability of the Eurozone in the long term, Mr Sinn said. He told Welt im Sonntag the German government would be making a big mistake if Angela Merkel agreed to the reforms. Getty Emmanuel Macron has called for major reform to the Eurozone, proposing a number of changes. This policy will drag us into a new mire of debt, Hans-Werner Sinn. Mr Sinn said, if Macron's ideas were implemented, it would stabilize the Eurozone in the short term, but destabilize it in the long term, with Greece in the middle of a complex bailout package and Italian debt the second largest in the Eurozone. Mr Sinn said, if Germany takes on the debts of the Euro partners, the countries of Southern Europe can happily continue to create debt, but he warned despite the short-term reprieve for Southern Europe, a new wave of debt would be unleashed that would weaken the competitiveness of the entire continent in the long term. Mr Sinn said, in the aftermath of the introduction of the euro, German savers' money went into the stomachs of Greek bureaucrats and into Spanish real estate projects that are now standing around as building ruins. This policy will drag us into a new mire of debt, will create another debt bubble, and gamble away the savings of the citizens, which were actually intended to finance pensions. Additional reporting by Monica Pallenberg.